Chapter 3: The Family's Guesses. Lord Callan Blackwood was still wearing the clothes of a Thorne family attendant. The ill-fitting clothes, likely taken from another servant, were stained and dirty from his search. He looked disheveled and a far cry from the life of comfort he was accustomed to. Yet he seemed unfazed by the poor attire. As he entered the room, he knelt before Grand Matron Thorne. "This is all my fault. We were not thoughtful enough. I am willing to apologize to the young mistress in person," he said. His straightforward apology surprised everyone in the room. When he had first received the news of Lady Elara's disappearance, he had been baffled and refused to take full responsibility. But now, in the presence of his elders, his attitude was impeccable. Grand Matron Thorne, though her face was still stern, softened her rebuke. "Lord Callan, this whole ordeal was terrifying," she said. "Elara's father just passed away. If something had happened to her, we as her elders would have had no face to live with." Lord Callan, still on his knees, bowed his head. "I have already lost all face. After I apologize to the Grand Matron, and to the young mistress, I will return to my father and uncles and accept my punishment." "Lord Callan," Lord Cashan said, "wait until we find out what really happened before you leave. It would be better for your father and elders to understand the full situation before they pass judgment." Lady Seraphina added, "Elara is hurt and frightened and cannot receive visitors yet." Lord Callan, hearing this, looked ashamed, regretful and grateful. He bowed his head again. "I am truly deserving of death." He was bewildered about what had happened, but thankfully, Elara had returned safely. The questions had been asked and the apologies made. All they could do now was wait for the one person who could explain everything. For now, everyone could take a moment to rest. "Lord Callan is sensible," Lady Seraphina said later, handing a cup of tea to Lord Cashan after he had bathed. "This shows that House Blackwood takes this marriage seriously." Lord Cashan took a sip, his expression relaxing. "House Blackwood is just a name right now. An alliance with our family is a huge benefit to them." Lady Seraphina nodded, then frowned. "But what if Elara doesn't want to marry into House Blackwood?" "That's not possible," Lord Cashan said firmly. "This was our eldest brother's dying wish, and she agreed to it. She is so young and is going so far away. It is understandable if she feels a little frightened or has a change of heart," Lady Seraphina said, smiling. "If that is the case, it will be easy to solve. She is a sensible child, and I will talk to her. If Elara was the only issue, it would be a small matter." Lord Cashan's face softened and he nodded. "But we cannot rule out the possibility that someone is conspiring against us," he said, turning his teacup in his hand. "Why would she suddenly have a change of heart? Did someone say something to her?" House Blackwood was eager for the marriage, but Lord Nolan was not the only eligible bachelor. Furthermore, aside from the Thorne family, Elara also had her mother's family, House Rowan, who would certainly not want her to marry into House Blackwood. "I doubt House Rowan would dare," Lady Seraphina said. "Ever since first sister-in-law passed away and House Rowan's offer to marry her younger sister to eldest brother was rejected, the families grew apart. We haven't had contact with them in years. Why would they interfere in Elara's marriage?" Lord Cashan sneered. "Eldest brother is no longer here. With their parents gone, the elders of the Thorne family had the right to intervene." Lady Seraphina shook her head. "Eldest brother is gone, but the Thorne family is not." She took the teacup from him and urged him to rest. "Don't think about it anymore. She is back safely. We can ask her what happened in a few days. If someone did conspire against us, we'll find them. As long as the family was united, they would face any challenge." Lord Cashan nodded. As he was leaving to rest, he added one more reminder. "Although things seem to have settled down since eldest brother's death, there are still undercurrents in and out of the house. Be careful. Elara's accident on the way to Valoria was surely not an accident." Lady Seraphina acknowledged his words and urged him to rest. The Thorne family manor settled into a quiet lull. The servants moved around carefully, afraid of disturbing the stressed and exhausted elders. But the children, being children, were far less concerned. In the west of the manor, there were separate courtyards with small, delicate pavilions and bridges over streams. In the sweltering heat of the afternoon, the laughter of young girls filled the air. By the stream the maids laughed as they played, their sleeves rolled up and their dresses held high. In a small pavilion nearby, 3 girls were fishing. However, their minds were not on the fish. Fourth eldest uncle said the young mistress turned back for a pair of birds. Lady Thea Thorne, the younger daughter of Lord Cashin, said, her eyes wide. When she spoke, she would always gesticulate with her hands, as if to give her words more power and get everyone's attention. That's not what fourth eldest uncle meant, Lady Gwyn Thorne, the younger daughter of Lord Lyman, said, her soft voice correcting her. Grand Matron was being sarcastic, refuting fourth eldest uncle's point that the young mistress would turn back for a pair of birds. But it's not impossible for the young mistress to turn back for a pair of birds, Lady Elara Thorne, the eldest daughter of Lord Fenrir, said, her voice more mature than the others as she sat cross-legged, staring at her fishing rod. She moved an entire house from the Swordfall marches. What could possibly be too strange for her? This was a famous story about Lady Elara. When Lady Elara was 3, her mother, Lady Rowan, passed away giving birth to Lord Cale. Elara's father, Lord Anson Thorne, decided to raise the children himself and, after his mourning period, took the children with him. He didn't send them back to Riverbend Hold until 2 years ago. He didn't just send back the 2 children. He also sent 30 carriages of household items, which, when unloaded, turned out to be an entire dismantled house. This shocked the entire Thorne family and became an unprecedented event in Riverbend Hold. Dismantling a house was a trivial matter. The cost of transporting it was astronomical. There was only one reason for this. Lady Elara suffered from displacement sickness. For something as simple as displacement sickness, she had an entire house moved for her. It seemed almost normal for her to turn back halfway for a pair of parrots. Lady Thea was at an age where she believed anything she was told. She nodded. I think the young mistress really did turn back for a pair of birds. Lady Ella wasn't as interested in the birds. Turning back for a pair of birds is a small matter. What if she just doesn't want to marry into House Blackwood? She doesn't want to marry them? Lady Gwyn sat up straight. Why wouldn't she? House Blackwood is a good match. Other than the great distance, there was nothing wrong with them. For a girl getting married, leaving home was normal. And with a powerful family to back you up, distance didn't matter. Lady Ella turned and looked at Lady Gwyn's bright eyes, then smiled. Is it? It might be a good match for us, but Elara is different from us. Lady Gwyn no longer thought so. Lady Elara's father was dead. She wasn't the same Lady Elara she used to be.